Before you order from these 7 popular restaurant chains again, you may want to pause. What you are about to hear is not speculation, not rumor, and not fear-mongering. It is the result of documented inspections, official reports, employee testimonies, and real incidents that have affected thousands of diners across the UK, many of them older adults who never suspected that a simple meal out could put their health at risk. These chains promote themselves as safe, fresh, and reliable. They promise home-style cooking, carefully sourced ingredients, and spotless kitchens. But behind the marketing, our investigation uncovered a very different reality. Frozen meals reheated and served as fresh, mislabeled ingredients. Pest infestations inside food preparation areas, and supply chains with gaps large enough for contaminated products to slip through unnoticed. For older adults whose immune systems are more vulnerable, these hidden risks matter even more. A single contaminated meal can trigger severe dehydration, dangerous infections, or life-threatening allergic reactions. In today's report, we will walk through each chain one by one. And by the end of this investigation, you will know exactly which restaurants you should avoid, why they pose a risk, and what safer alternatives you can choose for yourself and your family. If you're ready, let's begin. Eating out has become a routine part of life for many families in the UK, especially older adults who may prefer the convenience of a ready-made meal. Yet very few customers truly understand how complex, fragile, and uneven the restaurant safety system can be. On the surface, everything looks reassuring. Most major chains proudly display high food hygiene ratings, often 4 or 5 stars. But as multiple investigations have shown, those ratings do not always reflect what actually happens inside kitchens day after day. One reason is the inspection gap. The UK currently has more than 100,000 food premises overdue for routine checks according to recent public records. Many local councils face staff shortages, reduced budgets, and long backlogs. This means a restaurant can display a perfect score while its internal standards have quietly slipped for months. For older adults whose bodies are less able to fight bacteria like Salmonella, Campylobacter, or Listeria, this blind spot is risky. Another problem lies in the modern food supply chain. Large restaurant groups rely on centralized production, mass processing, and long-distance transport. When everything runs smoothly, this system is efficient. But even a small error such as mishandling cold storage or mislabeling an allergen can affect hundreds of locations at once. Older adults with allergies or chronic conditions face particular danger when ingredients are not labeled correctly or when contaminated products move through the system undetected. Marketing adds another layer of confusion. Chains promote images of freshly cooked, handmade, and farm-sourced meals. Yet investigations repeatedly reveal frozen dishes heated in microwaves, pre-cooked meats stored for extended periods, and produce that has traveled through multiple warehouses before reaching the plate. The gap between advertising and reality is wide, and customers often have no tools to identify the difference. Finally, age-related vulnerability makes these issues more urgent. Seniors experience slower digestion, weaker immunity, and reduced ability to recover from foodborne illness. A meal that might only cause mild discomfort for a younger person can lead to dehydration, hospitalization, or dangerous allergic reactions for someone over 60. This is why today's investigation matters. Behind every menu, every bargain deal, and every freshly prepared slogan is a system that deserves closer inspection, especially when older adults depend on it for safe, reliable meals. Wetherspoons has long been a favorite for its low-cost meals and familiar pub atmosphere. Many customers, including older adults, believe they are getting fresh home-style dishes prepared on site. But the reality is very different. Much of the food arrives frozen in sealed plastic bags and is reheated in microwaves within minutes. Staff even refer to the microwave as Chef Mike because it prepares most of the dishes. A major supplier, Russell Hume, was shut down after investigators found widespread relabeling of use-by dates, forcing Wetherspoons to remove over 200,000 steaks from menus each week. Frozen food that is rapidly reheated does not always reach safe internal temperatures, leaving bacteria alive. For older adults, this increases the risk of gastrointestinal infections and dehydration. While the brand markets itself as freshly cooked, the actual process resembles an assembly line. This gap between presentation and reality presents a clear warning as we move to the next item. Nando's has built a strong reputation around healthy protein and flame-grilled chicken. Many diners assume its meals are cleaner and safer than typical fast food. Yet a troubling incident at a major supplier showed how fragile the system can be. CCTV footage captured a worker intentionally contaminating hummus and salad dressings with gloves, pieces of plastic, and mixed allergens, posing a severe risk to individuals with allergies. He was later sentenced to 42 months in prison. Investigations into chicken farms supplying Nando's revealed overcrowded sheds, injured birds unable to stand, and poor living conditions that conflict sharply with the brand's responsibly sourced messaging. Cross-contamination of allergens can trigger life-threatening reactions, especially in older adults whose bodies respond more severely. Nando's public messaging remains polished, but the supply chain tells a more complicated story. This leads us to a third major chain with its own hidden issues. KFC is one of the most widely recognized restaurant brands trusted by families and older customers for consistent meals. But behind the branding, several serious problems have emerged. After switching to a cheaper logistics provider, the company experienced a nationwide supply collapse. 750 stores temporarily ran out of chicken. Even more concerning are hygiene violations inside individual locations. Inspectors in London found rat droppings in food preparation areas, decomposing mouse remains and cockroaches near cooking equipment. One store was fined more than £22,000. Rodents carry salmonella and other harmful bacteria that can easily contaminate food. Older adults are particularly vulnerable to these infections, which can lead to severe dehydration or even hospitalization. Although KFC advertises strict hygiene controls, these incidents reveal gaps in oversight. The next example shows how marketing language can mask industrial processes behind familiar comfort food. Greggs is beloved across the UK for budget-friendly pastries and the promise of freshly baked items throughout the day. Many customers interpret this as freshly prepared from scratch. In reality, nearly all savory products, sausage rolls, steak bakes, and pastries are factory-made, frozen, and simply baked in store. A major allergy alert in 2025 exposed the risks behind this model when steak bakes sold in supermarkets were mistakenly filled with a product containing sulfites, a common allergen that can trigger breathing difficulties in older adults. Because Greggs keeps its display counters unheated to avoid added VA at food cools, quickly increasing the chance of bacterial growth if held for extended periods. The brand's marketing creates the impression of artisanal freshness, but the actual system depends heavily on frozen storage and rapid turnover. This disconnect becomes even more concerning when we examine the next chain's food handling practices. Subway markets itself under the banner Eat Fresh, appealing to customers who want a healthier alternative to traditional fast food. However, numerous employee testimonies describe a different picture. Many workers report being instructed to replace expiration labels on meat sauces and tuna mixtures to avoid throwing out expired items. One UK location was fined after inspectors found mouse droppings, drain flies, and unsanitary storage conditions. Meat kept beyond its safe date is a known breeding ground for listeria, a bacterium especially dangerous for older adults, leading to fever confusion and sometimes bloodstream infections. DNA tests from previous investigations in the United States also failed to detect tuna DNA in many Subway tuna samples, raising questions about ingredient transparency. Although Subway strongly disputes these claims, the repeated employee reports and hygiene violations reveal ongoing gaps. This brings us to a global giant facing even more serious scrutiny. McDonald's is one of the most recognizable and trusted names in the world, especially among older adults who appreciate consistent familiar meals. But a major UK incident revealed alarming hygiene failures. At a McDonald's in Leytonstone, a customer found mouse droppings inside a burger wrapper. Inspectors uncovered decomposing mouse remains and droppings in multiple areas, including sauce boxes and cooking stations. The franchise received the largest food safety fine in UK fast food history, $475,000. Rodent contamination introduces bacteria like E. coli and salmonella, which can be dangerous or even life-threatening for seniors. Despite company paperwork suggesting regular cleaning and pest control, the actual conditions told a different story. The conflict between documented procedures and real-world practices highlights a systemic problem that becomes even more troubling in the final example on our list. Pret-a-manger positions itself as a premium health-focused brand with fresh, natural, handmade foods. Many older adults trust it precisely because of this clean, wholesome image. Yet two tragic deaths linked to Pret products revealed deeply flawed allergen controls. A 15-year-old girl died after eating a baguette containing sesame that was not labeled on the packaging despite previous complaints from customers with the same allergy. Another customer labeled dairy allergic died after consuming a flatbread advertised as dairy-free but made with yogurt contaminated during manufacturing. These cases demonstrated the catastrophic consequences of poor labeling and inadequate supplier oversight. For older adults with allergies, even a small amount of an undeclared ingredient can trigger a rapid and dangerous reaction. Pret's marketing language suggested meticulous freshness, yet investigations found repeated reheating of soups and pre-baked items made off-site. These contradictions reveal why Pret became the most serious case in our investigation. Among all the chains examined in this investigation, Pret-a-manger stands out not because of a single incident, but because of how far its polished brand image diverged from the hidden risks inside its operations. Pret built its identity on promises of freshly made food, clean ingredients, and transparency. For many older adults, the brand became a trusted option, something that felt safer, lighter, and healthier than typical fast food. But the truth revealed by two fatal allergy cases exposed a system with serious cracks. The first tragedy involved a baguette containing sesame seeds baked into the dough. There was no label on the packaging and no clear warning visible to the customer, a 15-year-old girl who later died from anaphylaxis mid-flight. Investigations revealed Pret had received 9 previous complaints about sesame in the same product line, including several hospitalizations, yet no changes were made. The second death involved a supposedly dairy-free flatbread contaminated with milk proteins from a supplier that failed to test batches properly. Pret had no process to verify dairy-free claims despite selling to thousands of allergy-sensitive customers every day. These were not rare accidents. They were the result of systemic lapses across multiple points: supplier oversight, on-site labeling staff, training, and quality control. Both families later testified that the deaths were entirely avoidable. Regulators agreed, and the outcry eventually led to the creation of Natasha's Law, requiring full ingredient labeling on all pre-packed food for direct sale. For older adults who may already manage chronic illnesses, breathing issues, or reduced immune response, these cases underscore a critical lesson. A brand's reputation does not guarantee safety. What matters is the system behind the scenes. And as Pret's story shows, even the most trusted names can fail in ways that carry deadly consequences. After examining the risks behind these popular restaurant chains, it is essential to focus on what you can do to protect yourself and your family, especially older adults who are more vulnerable to foodborne illness and allergic reactions. The goal is not to create fear, but to give you practical tools that make eating out safer and more predictable. One of the most effective steps is learning how to read ingredient and allergen information. When ordering pre-packed or ready-to-go items, look for clear labeling of the major allergens: sesame milk, eggs, nuts, soy, wheat, fish, and shellfish. If the label seems incomplete or unclear, do not hesitate to ask staff directly. For older adults with allergies, even small amounts of hidden ingredients can trigger dangerous reactions. When dining in fast food or casual chains, observe the environment. A clean counter, well-organized preparation area, and staff who follow hygiene routines are good signs. If you notice cluttered, dirty equipment or food sitting out at room temperature, it may be safer to choose another location. Avoid dishes that rely heavily on reheating, such as soups in plastic bags, pre-cooked meats, or items left in unheated display counters. Choosing alternatives can also help. Independent cafes or restaurants that cook meals from scratch tend to have shorter supply chains and better control over ingredients. Items like steamed vegetables, freshly grilled proteins, or simple salads made to order are safer options for older adults. Finally, always check the food hygiene rating before visiting a new restaurant. While the system is not perfect, it provides useful guidance when combined with your own observations. For those over 60, staying hydrated, avoiding high-risk foods, and seeking medical care early if symptoms appear can significantly reduce complications. This investigation shows a clear pattern. Even the most familiar restaurant chains can hide weaknesses in hygiene, supply chains, and ingredient handling that place customers, especially older adults, at real risk. From mislabeled allergens to contaminated kitchens and frozen meals marketed as fresh. the gap between advertising and reality can be significant. Understanding these issues is not about avoiding restaurants entirely, but about making informed choices that protect your health and your family. As our population ages, the responsibility to maintain safe, transparent food practices becomes even more important. Restaurants, regulators, and consumers all play a role. By staying aware, asking the right questions, and recognizing warning signs, you can reduce preventable dangers and enjoy eating out with greater confidence. Your vigilance is a powerful tool for safety. If you're ready, I can proceed with Part 7, Call to Action. Which part of this investigation surprised you the most? Have you ever experienced a situation at a restaurant that made you question its safety? Your experiences can help others stay informed and make better choices. If you want to continue receiving calm, evidence-based reports that help protect your family's health, consider subscribing so you never miss our upcoming investigations and guidance. Thank you for taking the time to watch and learn with us today. Your attention, especially as an older adult or caregiver, makes a real difference in creating safer food environments for everyone.